Rhinohorn 125, and today I'm going to be doing a video discussing many things in Star Wars related, along with the new Solo movie. Definitely going to be talking about The Last Jedi and Episode 9. And also the Kenobi movie, no doubt. Just going to touch on everything a little bit, especially since Solo is right around the corner, and then getting Episode 9 2019, and the Obi-Wan movie, as of now, we know will be around 2020 or so maybe 2019, I don't know. I guess we will find out, but I'm going to be talking about that in many things, what I think needs to happen, or maybe some things that I wish were different, but mainly things that what is going to happen. But I will definitely be talking about some things that I wish went differently in The Last Jedi, because I did do a movie review on The Last Jedi, and I really do want to talk about some things that I wish went differently. And all in all, I think The Last Jedi is a fantastic movie, and a lot of people would probably hate me and disagree with me for that, but I think it is. I wouldn't put it as like the best Star Wars movie ever, like some people are saying, but I think that it does fall in there. Like, just, it is a really good movie, and people need to wait and give it a chance. Just like with Force Awakens, there was some things that people hated, but they grew in it. Same thing with me. There were some things I was confused about, and after a little bit, I kind of started to understand, and it come to terms with it. But anyway, let's get to the video. Good evening. Now, most people would probably say that yes, The Last Jedi was a terrible movie. But I say no. There's been countless YouTube videos on this, whether The Last Jedi is good or if it's bad. Good and bad, it's just a word. Just because you say something's bad doesn't mean it's actually bad. Hitler not included. He was bad. But everybody has their own opinion. And whatever you think is a bad movie, to you, is a bad movie. So, in a way, I guess you're right. In your own way. Now, to be perfectly fair, there was a lot wrong with The Last Jedi. And there's a lot that I wish was different. Maybe some things that could have easily been avoided, and maybe some things that could have affected the entire movie itself. But we're going to talk about those things. And we're going to talk about some other things, as the intro of this video already stated. First things first, since we're on the topic of The Last Jedi, and you're wondering whether it's good or it's bad. Now, not everybody just thinks it's good or bad. There are some, including me, that think that it is a good movie, yet think there are things that need to be changed. Now, to see what a Star Wars movie looks like, it's good or bad, there really isn't any bad Star Wars movies, in my opinion. There are just things that should have been done differently. But because it's such a huge franchise, we look at it as if it's a ginormous problem that needs to be fixed. But what exactly do I mean is, well, there are certain things like movie mistakes, or things that are put in a movie that really don't mean anything. Those types of things can just be ignored. Then there's the big plot hurders, I guess is what I'll call it. A plot herder would be like in The Last Jedi, killing off Luke Skywalker. That is one of the big problems I have with The Last Jedi. Now, that could work. It definitely could. Since Snoke is dead, maybe like I mentioned in my review on The Last Jedi movie, maybe they could have some kind of otherworldly fight as the Force itself. Who knows? I guess we'll find out when the last movie comes out. Not really. I guess it's the last movie in all the franchises. or the franchise. But to understand if it's a good or bad movie and what everything means, you obviously need to see all of the Star Wars movies. Now what I have here is episode 1 to 6. And I have 7 and 8 right here. Now, while I'm on this topic, Star Wars 8, I would say that yes, when I first saw it, I wasn't too sure. I had different thoughts on it, opinions that I didn't like, especially the killing off of Han Solo. I also did not like the fact of how overpowered Rey was so quickly, but again, that can be explained. It is Star Wars, and there's a lot of unknown things. Like, take Yoda and Palpatine, for instance. We never got a backstory on Palpatine. He was just there, and then he was killed, and no one seemed, that I know of, had a problem with that. But I guess that was the 80s, so there was no internet to complain on. But also Yoda as well. Very wise master, as we are told, but we never got a backstory on. Until, of course, the prequels, which a lot of people hate and a lot of people love. It's a big meme now, which I absolutely love the prequels. And I think episode 3, no matter what, right now, as the franchise is, from episode 1 all the way to episode 8, I think Star Wars episode 3 is the most important. Reason being is, without episode 3, you would not have 4, 5, 6, 7, or even 8. They would be completely different if something went a little bit differently in Revenge of the Sith. Now, there is movies like Rogue One that tie in very nicely and add to the story of Star Wars, but aren't all that important. But whether a Star Wars movie is important or not doesn't really make it a good or bad movie. And while I'm here, I might as well say, if you are a fan of Star Wars and you don't own every single one of the movies, it just doesn't make sense. And while you're at it, while you go buy all the Star Wars movies, you should also get Colgate Optic White. Once it's right, it's alright. Alright, welcome back after that short commercial. Now, back to what I was talking about. Whether The Last Jedi is good or bad. I've made some small points on this, but the real thing is, just what is your opinion? Because of the Star Wars being such a ginormous franchise and people loving it and wanting it to be exactly perfect, at first, when I saw The Last Jedi, as I explained in my Last Jedi movie review, I thought it looked, I don't know, I had a lot of thoughts, and I didn't know how to explain most of the things until they got explained to me. The more things were explained, the more I liked it. Like Princess Leia flying. I hated that so much. I thought that was so stupid. But then when I learned more about it and thought more about it myself, I kind of like it. It makes sense, and, you know, she is a Skywalker. So, if you think that's stupid, and I will say that yes, it does look kind of funny, just her Supermaning through space, about to reverse time and save Lois Lane. Oh, by the way, rest in peace, Carrie Fisher. But I would say that I do like that now. Other things in the movie, I would pretty much, as a whole, the movie was a fantastic Star Wars movie, I would say. But there are key points in the movie that could be fixed. One of which, most important, Luke's death. Now, Luke's death that's a big deal. But he did go out in the most heroic way possible. When I first saw the movie, my first thoughts, why would he use what I now know as called force projection instead of just going there? That's a little cowardly. But no, he's completely sacrificed his life as if he was there and became one with the Force. I think that's pretty heroic, and I think it's pretty cool that he is so powerful in the Force, he can do something that we've never seen anybody do in Star Wars before. But either way, he's dead. But maybe he's not, because it is Star Wars, and if you think about it, not exactly, not fully, Yoda isn't really dead. Neither is Anakin or Obi-Wan. They're alive within the Force. But since it is Star Wars, and they do have Force ghosts and such, they are dead in the movie because they will not be returning as they once did in the action. But that could all be changed with Luke. We'll just have to wait and see in Episode 9. The other thing that I really didn't like about this movie, well, I would say it could have been changed. It's one of the small little things that could have been changed. The purple-haired woman, Captain Holdo, or whatever, I don't care for her. The actress, I really do. She is a good actress, but the character, so random. Leia is incapacitated for, like, a few hours, and this purple-headed Hunger Games model-looking woman shows up and takes command. You know who I think should have took command? Frickin' Admiral Akbar. Oh yeah. And when they're gonna leave, when Leia awakens and they head off, Admiral Akbar stays behind and he goes light speed into that. That'd be the most intense thing. Admiral Akbar needs to be shown respect, not sucked into the vacuum of space, and that's it. There's no mention. They remorsed him in their heads. Same thing with another thing that I wish could have been changed. When Luke asked Rey, "Where's Han?" I wish there is a deleted scene of him remorsing over it, but it doesn't actually show her say what happened. Now, I wish that they would have put that in because, I mean, for one, it'd be sad, but it adds to the effect of the movie, makes you believe it more, and, you know, have more feeling, and that's what I like in a Star Wars movie. And Han Solo is my favorite Star Wars character of all time, so I think that would have just been perfect. And maybe even have Luke cry a little. I don't know. Maybe a little tear. Maybe not that. I mean, he's pretty tough, but because I don't even think Leia cried. Because they're tough, but, you know, they know how to hold in their sadness. So. Alright, back to it. Another thing that I feel could have really been changed, Snoke's death. That is one of the most talked about things, besides Luke's death, that people don't understand. He is so powerful, yet he gets taken out like Darth Maul in Episode 1. And Darth Maul survived, so maybe Snoke did? I mean, he is dead. His body's dead. But he is very powerful, and there's several theories of what could have happened. He could have also been using some advanced form of force projection, making them think, maybe an illusion since he does play with minds. Or maybe he wanted to die so he can transform into the Force itself and become even more powerful. Or maybe he went, which I don't think this even a bit, but some people think maybe he went into someone's body, like Kylo Ren or something. That's very stupid to me. That's some X-Files thing. But, I mean, X-Files, I like that. It's a good show. But, just, no. But that's basically the key points that bother me. Other than that, I think The Last Jedi is fantastic. Also, another thing, Rose, I can see adding a new character, but when there's this movie and one more, why add a new character that people are going to fall in love with within 2 movies? Like, no one, I don't think anybody actually cares about Rose, like, as a good Star Wars character. Like, Finn, it took me 1 movie to like Finn, like, a lot. I wouldn't say he's one of my favorite Star Wars characters, but when he was getting ready to head in to that, door cracker, whatever. I don't remember the exact name, the technical term of it. But the thing the First Order was using to crack the door, when he was flying to that, my heart skipped a beat. I'm not even kidding, I actually got scared for him. because I do like Rey, but I really hate so much that she's overpowered, and that is another thing that is wrong with The Last Jedi, and like I said, The Force Awakens, that how overpowered she is. And maybe she was born from the Force. Maybe she doesn't actually have any parents. Maybe just some random people dropped her off. Who knows? I mean, it could be, she could have just like Anakin. Maybe she only has a mother, or maybe not at all. Maybe that's why she could advance even further than Anakin can. And maybe she will be the last Force-sensitive human being alive at the end of Star Wars 9. So, the Force is balanced. Maybe Kylo Ren dies. Who knows? But that's one of the other things. But, other than that, that's my tiny rant. It's probably been a little long now, but I didn't want to turn this into a Last Jedi movie review. Alright, now to the next topic. Now I'm going to be talking about Han Solo. The new Han Solo movie, and my thoughts on it. I'm going to start out from the beginning of when I first heard about the Han Solo movie. I saw Han Solo in a movie title. I knew it was going to be a young Han Solo, but I didn't really think too much of it. I more was just excited. Another Star Wars movie, and I love Star Wars, so that's exciting. But once I actually thought that someone else would be playing Han Solo that's not Harrison Ford, I didn't really like that. I don't think anybody did. But once I saw the TV spot and the first trailer, I'm completely 100% on board with Solo: A Star Wars Story. I heard they were having some troubles. At first they had trouble, they switched directors and whatnot, but that doesn't mean it won't be a, bad movie, just because they had trouble in the beginning. But I'm not gonna get on, try to, what's the word I'm looking for, get overly excited about it, because then I might be let down if it actually is bad, which I don't think it will be bad. Just like The Last Jedi, with all the hate it's getting, like I said, I in no way think it is a bad movie or a bad Star Wars movie for them. Some people say it's not a bad movie, but it's not a good Star Wars movie, which actually kind of makes no sense. Unless you just watch Star Wars movie just to see action, then I guess it makes sense, but if you're watching it for the story and the loving of Star Wars, then that makes no sense. But anyway, back on Han Solo. Once I got that and I'm completely on board, I started hoping for things. Like, I heard there was a rumor Boba Fett might be in it, Jabba the Hutt. Lando is going to be in it, obviously. If you guys know anything about the movie, he is. Which, that's also pretty cool. Because I'm not a huge fan of Lando, just based on his actions in Empire Strikes Back. But he did have a big part in Return of the Jedi. So, I do like him as a character, and I'm happy that they're going to put him in this, and I hope this is the movie, and I can almost say I'm 100% positive that he gets the Millennium Falcon off of Lando in this movie. I can also say that it's pretty obvious that he's going to make the Kessel Run in this movie as well, which, if you guys want to see more about that and such, there's several videos about that out there. I'm not one to do those types of videos. So that's pretty exciting. There are things I do hope for this movie. Like, a little bit of me hopes that they will put, because there's only theories, I guess, and rumors that they'll put Darth Vader or Boba Fett, but I really hope at least one of them is. That'd be awesome to see Boba Fett, but the more Darth Vader I can get on screen, the better, especially if he's cutting down rebels. Like the scene in Rogue One, that was the most intense scene in any movie ever. Like, of any movie I've ever seen, I think that would top the cake of when I first saw it. You know, my heart didn't beat for a few minutes, or however long the scene was. That right next to Logan, near the end of the Logan movie. But yeah, seeing Darth Vader in action is pretty cool, and I'd love to see it again. But I can't really see them doing that. I can more see Boba Fett making an appearance, and I can definitely see more than anybody Jabba the Hutt making an appearance. But I guess, again, we'll just have to wait and see. And I do think, and of course I forgot his name. Had to quickly look it up. It's Alden Ehrenreich. Yeah. Not as simple as Harrison Ford. But, anyway, I think he will do Han Solo justice. I have faith in him. I heard they had to bring in a acting instructor to help him because he hasn't been in that many movies. He's been in a few, but I heard that they had to bring, and I'm pretty sure it was for him. And if not, then my information's wrong. But I do have faith in this movie, and I think it will be good. But that's my most thoughts on it, and also just to add on, I kind of hope that there are some more bounty hunters in this movie. And judging on what we got from the trailer, it looks like there's going to be. There's he's got like furs, and almost looks like he's got like part of Kylo Ren's like visor on his like helmet or whatever. It just resembles it, but I think that guy's a bounty hunter. Maybe not. Guess we just have to see. But yeah, Bosk would be pretty cool to see, which I highly doubt, but we only got to see him once in the actual Star Wars and a few times in Star Wars The Clone Wars, so I think it would just be fantastic. And he is my favorite bounty hunter. I do like Boba Fett, but if I had to choose between the two, I'd have to go with Bosk. I mean, come on, you can't get any better than that. A big reptilian, 6'9" creature with an extreme attitude, and just, he knows how to kill. I mean, to me, that's more extreme than Boba Fett. Even though that's not taking a dump on Boba Fett. Boba Fett's pretty awesome too. But that's my thoughts on Solo: A Star Wars Story. Now, before I get to my last topic, I do want to mention Carrie Fisher. Now, we all know that she passed away months after, well, I don't know exactly how long it was after they got done shooting. All I know is they got all her scenes in, obviously. She was in the entire Last of the Jedi movie, and it was out in theaters, and after that, I believe is when, around the time Carrie Fisher died. Either way, we all know what that means. There isn't going to be Princess Leia, our Princess Leia, in Episode 9. Now, I've heard talk that they're going to replace her, but that was complete bullcrap. That was just a giant rumor. They would never do that. I don't think. Mark Hamill even said that that would. I cannot actually remember exactly his words, but he basically said just what I said. Bullcrap. Except he didn't say bullcrap. He said, "Oh, irreplaceable. She is irreplaceable." Yes. And if they recast her, I'd be very, very... That's just wrong. That's horrible. That's just like if... And I don't want to say this, but like, let's say before The Force Awakens, maybe Han Solo didn't die, but they were going, like, Harrison Ford died, or he just didn't want to be in the movie, so they recasted him as, I don't know, Kurt Russell or something, which is someone who actually auditioned for the role of Han Solo in the originals. See, that would just be taking a dump on the fans immediately right there. It's like right out of the gate you see a woman that's not Princess Leia pretending to be Princess Leia. It's like the third Mummy movie. You know, you're watching, you love the first two, and then they get on there and there's a woman that's not her, but they're like all intense. Like you know the characters and you love the characters, yet there's this random woman that had a kid with Brendan Fraser that's not the woman that you saw in the first two, and they try to make it work. It doesn't work. I'm sorry. See, with Transformers, they did a good job. See, Megan Fox, she didn't want to be in it anymore. So they changed her out for someone new, but they didn't make her the same woman. They just said, oh, Sam broke up with her, because, you know, that happens. So I think the best bet for Carrie Fisher is in the roll credits of the beginning of the movie. Maybe put something that, I don't know, maybe Princess Leia in some good phrase lost the will to live because of all the loss that they have suffered and because of her brother's death, or just something, well, Luke's death, just something along those lines, in that the Resistance was mourning her, and just something like that, and then yada yada yada, everything that's going to go on in the movie, you know. But I think that's the best bet, and what is very ironic that I found, and is very sad, is Carrie Fisher, after she passed away, her mom did. I think it was 2 days later, and it was actually of a broken heart. And yes, you can die of a broken heart. You can't handle the stress, and you have somewhat of a heart attack, and like a miniature heart attack that will actually kill you. That's just the basic that I know of it. I'm sure there's more to it than just that. But very ironic that her mom, Padme, in the movies also died. That's just something that, you know, it's just ironic. It doesn't mean anything, but, you know, that I think, back more on topic, I think that is the best thing they can do, is in the open credits explain why she is not in the movie, but in a very nice kind of way that would fit the story well. J.J. Abrams is directing it, and I would say I really do. I like The Last Jedi. But I like Force Awakens more. I think it was better made and a lot, not simpler is not the word I want to use, but it's just a better movie. If I were to choose between the two, even though that's not crapping on The Last Jedi at all, I think it is a fantastic movie, as I've said. But, you know, there's not as many things wrong with The Force Awakens. Not even close. But that's just my thoughts on it, and I do not in any way hate The Last Jedi, just like this video is. I just wish some things went differently. But that's my thoughts on Carrie Fisher, and now, for the end of the video, I'm going to talk about my last subject right now. Alright, last subject, Kenobi. Now, I'm pretty sure the Kenobi, I'm just going to say it's called Kenobi, a Star Wars story. I feel like that's a very appropriate title. Or maybe it's Obi-Wan, a Star Wars story, which I think Kenobi would be better. But we only have some details. We know around the time it's going to come out. It's pretty much confirmed, but there has not been a say or a cast yet that I'm aware of, and if I were to look it up right now, I'm pretty sure the news is still the same, so, I'll just look that up right now, exactly, so I'll just look up Kenobi Star Wars story, and let's see what we get here, of news, or anything, not completely sure. It doesn't have much to say on it. Exactly. Just kind of, talks about Obi-Wan Kenobi right there, and that's extremely bright because it didn't focus, but that's basically all we have. That the movie is, a lot of people want it to be made, in that they somewhat, a little bit confirmed it, but not exactly, and there was a thing where they were on a filming location, which was in the same location that they filmed A New Hope, in the scenes that Obi-Wan was in, around that area. And I cannot remember what the place is called, but you get the picture. So, that's basically it. I wish there was more, though. I really do, because I do like Han Solo a lot. I really do, and I actually kind of can't wait for the Solo movie, but if I could choose between Solo, a Star Wars story, this year, or Kenobi, a Star Wars story this year, I would choose Kenobi, because no doubt, if they do make the movie, Ewan McGregor is fully on board, and we got it in an interview, for doing any Star Wars type thing, and I'm pretty sure his opinion is the same, because that was a couple of years ago, but yeah, so, my guess is for the movie, it will, like most people are saying, be maybe a few years after Episode 3, and I don't know exactly what it will be about. I cannot actually think of any, thing. It will not definitely be involving the Empire, but it could, but I feel it'll be more of a Logan-type movie, a smaller, but more realistic, and that doesn't have anything to do with it being in the desert because of that, but it'll be a smaller, more realistic, and kind of sad movie, I think. That's my opinion on it, which will be cool to see, but I hope that we get to see Ewan McGregor maybe throw a few little jokes, maybe, like in the comics, he would talk to himself while he was on Tatooine. Maybe we'll get to see him talk to himself a little bit, and, just crack a small little wise joke every now and then, like the Obi-Wan we know. And I do love the prequels, and as I said, there's a lot of problems with them as well. Not so much, they are huge plot killers or anything, like killing off Luke Skywalker. There's nothing like that, but I think Ewan McGregor, without a doubt, is probably the best part of the prequels. Like, if we're talking the whole, maybe not so much in Episode 1, because he didn't really have a huge involvement in Episode 1, but definitely 2 and 3. Episode 1, I think people would give it to Qui-Gon Jinn, which is Liam Neeson, and we all know Liam Neeson pretty good. But that's basically what I wanted to talk about today. I kind of knew that this video was going to be kind of long-ish, and since I had a lot to talk about, but that's basically it. And like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more videos. Have some clone videos coming soon, possibly some reviews, I don't know. I guess we will see. So like, comment, and subscribe, and thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.
Heads up! Heads up! Here's another one, and another one. Why you all in my ear talking a whole bunch of